Hi guys. Welcome back to our channel. Happy to see you back, for another round of amazing cool facts. The deepest dive ever on record is 1,082 feet, that's 332 meters, set by Ahmed Gaber in 2014. That depth is the equivalent of approximately 3 football pitches stacked vertically on top of each other. I know it's sad to imagine, but elephants are among the few animals that will bury their dead. Elephants not only cry with grief, but are known to create graves for their dead, covering their bodies with leaves and foliage, and will often stay with the body while in mourning. A mother whose calf has died will often stay with her dead baby for days. It seems like elephants mourn their dead similar to humans. In May 22, 2010, a man named Laszlo Hanyecz, one of the early investors of the new cryptocurrency Bitcoin, called up his local pizza restaurant called Papa John's to buy himself 2 pizzas, and purchased 2 of Papa John's pizzas, using 10,000 bitcoins. To be fair, back in 2010, his bitcoins were only worth roughly $41 based on the going rate for Bitcoin at the time. Back then this virtual currency was being used to buy almost anything in the real world. Today them same coins would be worth over £34 million, that's over $44 million. The dung beetle is not only the world's strongest insect, but compared to body weight, is also the strongest animal on the planet. They can pull 1,141 times their own body weight, which is the equivalent of a 150-pound or a 70 kilograms man, lifting 6 full double-decker buses. Dung beetles are found worldwide on every continent except Antarctica. Dams do have their good sides and generate 16% of the world's electricity. The downsides are, dams do block the migration of fish, deplete rivers of oxygen, and interfere with the biological triggers that guide fish. They also reduce the ability of rivers to clean themselves. An estimated $2,000 billion has been spent on dams since 1950. That rumor about cockroaches being the sole survivors at the end of the world might not be wrong. They can often stay alive even after their heads have been cut off. They can also live up to 3 months without food and a month without water. Although most us think of cockroaches as vermin, they do have a useful ecological role, because cockroaches are professional recyclers. Depending on how you look at it, Violet Jessup was one of the unluckiest or luckiest women in history. The ocean liner stewardess not only survived the sinking of the Titanic in 1912, but she was also present during the Olympic ship collision in 1911 and on board during the sinking of the Britannic in 1916. Britannic and Olympic were Titanic's sister ships. Amazingly, she survived all the disasters, and she passed away in 1971, age 83. The green anaconda is the largest non-venomous snake in the world. It can reach a length of 30 feet, that's over 9 meters, and weigh up to 550 pounds, that's 227 kilograms. To get some idea how big that is, it would be twice the height of 2 female giraffes standing on top of each other. Due to their size, they can constrict prey as large as a human, but it is rare, and are incredibly strong. With a crushing force the equivalent to an elephant sitting on your chest, they live for about 10 years in the wild, and in captivity, they can live up to 30 years. I know it's sad, but grave robbers once stole Charlie Chaplin's body. Charlie Chaplin became famous in the movies for making people laugh. After Chaplin's death on Christmas Day in 1977 at the age of 88, his body was laid to rest in a cemetery in the Swiss village of Coursiers-sur-Vevey, and just a few months later, on March 2, 1978, 2 men stole his body and contacted Chaplin's widow, Una, demanding $600,000 for the return of the corpse. They was also threatening her children. The police investigation resulted in the arrest and conviction of the 2 robbers and the recovery of the body, which was later reburied in his original plot. However, this time, a coating of concrete was put over the grave to deter any future robberies. In Texas in 2015, a man tried to shoot an armadillo that he found wandering around his yard and got the shock of his life. Unlucky for him, he found out the hard way that armadillo shells are bulletproof. When he fired his gun and the bullet ricocheted off the animal and hit the man in the jaw, which he had to have wired shut when he was taken to the local hospital. We always imagine a kidney transplant means taking out the unhealthy kidney and replacing it with a healthy one. But in fact, in most cases, surgeons will leave the unhealthy kidney inside the patient's body, and add the healthy kidney somewhere near their pelvis. In the jungles of Madagascar, lemurs are getting high by eating a particular species of millipede that causes toxins to release, leading them appear intoxicated. Besides getting them high, the bugs may also have another positive effect, acting as a pesticide to ward off mosquitoes. They remove debris from their fur using an adaptation called a tooth comb, special teeth at the front of their jaw that jut out at an angle, and male ringtails settle disputes by rubbing their tails on their scent glands, then waving them at each other. This behavior is known as stink fighting. The AIDS Memorial Quilt was started in 1986 by gay rights activist Cleve Jones, and by 2016, the quilt measured 1.3 million square feet and weighed an estimated 54 tons. Each panel is 3 feet or 0.91 meters, by 6 feet or 1.8 meters. The quilt is still maintained and displayed by the Names Project Foundation. You can now explore all 50,000 panels of the AIDS Memorial Quilt online. All of England's swans belong to the Queen. Any unclaimed swan swimming in the open waterways of England and Wales belongs to the Queen. According to British law, the law originated back into medieval times, when swans were considered a delicacy by the wealthy, yet it is still in effect today. In a practice known as swan upping, all the swans in the River Thames are counted for the Queen every year during the third week of July. The most expensive dress ever sold at auction was worn by Marilyn Monroe when she sang Happy Birthday Mr. President to John F. Kennedy for his 45th birthday at Madison Square Garden in May 19, 1962. The stunning figure-hugging flesh-colored Jean Louis gown, with 2,500 crystals, was sold at Julien's auction on November 17, 2016, for an amazing $4.8 million. That's £3.9 million. It was brought by Ripley's Believe It or Not museum chain, and set a new Guinness World Record for the most expensive dress sold at auction. Here's a very funny fact. Researchers discovered that if you put 1 milligram of Viagra into a vase of freshly cut flowers, the flowers would stand up straight, without wilting, for up to a week longer than their natural lifespan. Researchers found that Viagra slows the breakdown of some enzyme in flowers. Though this sounds hilarious, some passengers will go to extreme lengths to avoid paying airport baggage fees. Like a man in 2012, he wore his 60 shirts and 9 pairs of jeans on a flight from China to Africa. That was 11.5 hours long. Lobsters have their bladders on either side of their heads, so when they communicate it's by urinating at each other. So if they want another lobster to know that they are angry, happy, sad or interested in a relationship, they simply just pee at each other. You think parking is expensive in your country? Well, think again. In the center of Hong Kong, in front of the city's 5th tallest building, a 135 square foot parking spot was purchased for a staggering $969,000. This was the 4th lucrative transaction for businessman Johnny Chung, who made 6 figures off his first 3 parking spaces. Your heart beats faster when you're excited and slower when you're relaxed, but in most cases, it tends to beat at a regular pace. In fact, most human hearts beat an average of 60 to 80 times per minute. That's 100,000 times per day. That's around 35 million times a year, and over 2.5 billion times in a lifetime. That's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe, and turn the notification bell on to be notified when we next post. Thanks for watching.